Hello and welcome to the Adapt and Survive series, where we ask members of the travel retail community how they are dealing with the impacts of the global coronavirus pandemic. I'm here today with Simon Best of Duty Free Innovation. Thank you, Simon, for joining me today. The first question I wanted to ask you was, how are you and the members of Duty Free Innovation adjusting to working from home without being able to make those necessary trips overseas and also domestically to see your clients face to face? How much of a challenge is that?
Hi, Charlotte. Thank you very much for having me on. As I say, we're a small team, so actually we're quite used to working from home. It's the addition of kids that is probably the major change, and as you say, the lack of travel. But so we're used to working from home. It has actually, in Australia, we're very lucky in the UK that we are able to go out and take exercise. I know in the Middle East it's very difficult to do that, and other parts of the world. So we're actually bonding a bit as a family, taking the dog for a walk, and unfortunately we can't stop for a pint in a pub on the way, but these things we have to deal with. Strangely, there's parts of travel I really miss. I do miss going out and seeing people, and and just visiting the new places, which was very much part of my life. I don't miss Heathrow at 6 o'clock in the morning so much, or Stansted. Not just all airports at 6 in the morning. I don't miss. But yeah, we're getting on. Everyone's well, which is the most important.
That's really good to hear. Now, how is your business being affected right now? What can you control? What are you prioritizing?
Yeah, that's not quite so rosy picture. We're a small company, and I say, there are a lot of other small suppliers to the industry, that the travel retail industry, that are getting really hit hard by these restrictions. We've had a number of big projects. We were on a really nice trajectory, and these big projects have all come to a stop. People have sort of just, there's no passengers in the airports, so all non-essential expenditure has been stopped. So we're still able to work. The Asian factories that we work with are all back on track, so we're able to finish off and continue, delivering orders and finishing that. But it's the pipeline and also our financial plans that are really taking the big hit. We're very conscious, at the moment, however, of our clients, and our clients are mainly, the big brands and retailers, and they are going through a really hard time at the moment. So we're deliberately giving them some time and space. But I just want to say, they're being very supportive as well. To a man, I think the TR community is really coming together, which is a support for all of us. But as I say, there is an overwhelming problem that the pipeline is drying up, and we don't have enormous reserves of cash. So we're doing everything we can. And let's say the title of this series is absolutely right. We're adapting to survive. It's exactly what we're looking at. And we're taking the sort of rare opportunity of some downtime, I suppose, to really consolidate our plans and have a look at the business and where we're going. And we've really sort of brought some projects and plans forward a little bit, and just changed the order of things that we're looking at to make sure we're in the game when things do come back. I think just to illustrate a little bit, before we were probably looking at big orders from some of the big players. And people are just not spending capital on non-essentials. So they're going right back to the core. So we're looking at how we can adapt our business to suit the new environment when it comes along. So what we're trying to do is to make, rather than focusing on maybe big orders, is to look at lower entry, smaller orders, making it easy for retailers to take the products on. And we're looking at sort of creating a new range of our own branded bags that won't mean a huge amount of capital expenditure, but people can then bring them into their stores. That will be a complementary product that will also deliver incremental spend. So we firmly believe that when passengers do come back to the airports, the retailers are going to have to work a lot harder and maybe diversify a little bit to try and just get everything they can out of the opportunities to grow that shopping basket. And that's where we're focusing on, trying to create a proposition for them that says, okay, our sustainable bags can sit alongside your other products without having to be too much like hard work. It's very little capital for you guys. but it'll also help you to deliver on your sustainability commitments, and also give your consumers an opportunity to buy and buy into a sustainable product as well, which I think is going to be very important in the future.
So you mentioned that the factories in Asia are now starting up again, being able to make the bags, but obviously the pipeline is drying up. Can you tell us a little bit more about the bags for those that don't know so much about duty-free innovation?
Oh, thank you very much for the opportunity for the plug. But yes, if you haven't heard of the bags, we're really keen to try and get single-use plastics out of travel retailers, as much as we can, and help retailers to, again, give the choice to the consumers. So our bags are all made from recycled plastic bottles. We're working very closely with a fabulous organisation, a fabulous charity called the Plastic Bank, to get our bottles, the bottles that we use for our bags, sourced from beaches, mangroves, and riverbeds in impoverished places. So there's local teams of guys who are out of work then using this as a way to get themselves back on the ladder. So we're trying to really sort of from source through to the end to create an ethical and sustainable approach. The bags themselves are bags for life. They're really sort of nice bags, beautiful designs on them. And they have, they're deliberately designed for travel retail. So they have a panel on them that fits over the trolley bags, so the suitcases, so people don't have to carry it. One of the big things that we've seen from research is that number one reason for Chinese not buying any more than they would is that they don't want to carry anymore, and this really takes out that. So that's sort of what we're doing. We're trying to help retailers to move away from single-use plastic and really focus on sustainability.
Excellent, good. We're very much on board. We together we launched the Travel Retail Sustainability Forum, so it's a core to our business sort of ethos now. And on sustainability itself, you mentioned reducing, recycling, single-use plastics, and trying to obviously ultimately reduce the use of them. Sustainability obviously is becoming more of a consumer demand anyway. We know that, but do you think there's a possibility that following the COVID-19 storm, when travellers do start to go around the world again, do you think they may be even more inclined actually to think about purchasing items that are more sustainable to the planet? They'll be feeling, I guess, as they're emerging from a period of self-reflection and mindfulness, and perhaps they might be more altruistic. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think absolutely. You're absolutely right. I think this is, it's not sounding too dramatic. It is a watershed moment in the history of the world. Nothing like this has ever happened before. And I do think people we will come back into a very different world. It will change people's ability to reflect over these last few weeks. Will change their outlook on life. And I think some of the very few benefits that lockdowns have brought has been environmental benefits. I think everyone can see the clarity of the skies and no vapor trails. Things like that, but also people focusing on how much waste they get through, on a day-to-day basis. And I really do think, that people will be more conscious as a result of this, on their own impact on the planet. And, research has seen huge growth in, the need for sustainable products and the demand for sustainable products. And I'm absolutely certain that when we come back out of this, it will be on a different trajectory, and we really need to focus on sustainability. The however in that is the financial and economical impact that this is going to have on retailers, on brands. They are really going to be under the cost, and they will tie everything back. And so, the sustainable option or the ethical option is always the more expensive option. And the real danger is that brands and retailers will revert back to more expedient throwaway items, the single-use plastics, just because they have to. In a race to try and get profitable again, some of these nice-to-haves may go. And now we were speaking with the guys at the Plastic Bank charity, and they're really, really concerned that having got sustainability to the top of the agenda, it's now going to be pushed back again down the agenda as economic factors really take over. And that's again why we're trying to work with that, and understand a bit of both and say, well, rather than expecting the retailer to outlay a load of money to be sustainable, let's create a product or a solution that allows them to make money whilst also offering the consumer a sustainable choice. So again, I think that's the way that we need to be thinking about it, and the brands need to be thinking about how they work with the retailers, and the retailers are, still have a commitment to their airports, to the governments, to the consumer, and I think hopefully we will still be able to maintain the momentum that we created in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, that's some very interesting salient points that you make there about the fear that retailers and brands may revert slightly in this period. You also mentioned, obviously, the whole industry and the whole world is hurting a lot right now, and it's very easy for people to feel so despondent at this period in time. Do you have a positive message that you could share with the industry right now? Perhaps any words of advice?
Yeah, not none that's probably going to make any difference. But I think we're the old mantra, and I think we're all working amongst this is, let's plan for the worst and hope for the best. I do think we are in, I don't think there's going to be a quick win. Listening to the radio this morning, I think they're quite right. Until a vaccine is available, we're going to be all operating in some sort of restrictive environment. So we've got to get on with it, and we've got to make the most of it. So we're, as I said before, we're taking this time to plan and consolidate. It is a huge challenge, but we're kind of seeing it as a gift, in a way. We're also busy on our day-to-day operations, just getting through, ticking boxes, that we never have time as a business to really sit down and just mull over and constructively look at our plans, where we are, where we want to go. So that really is, is the advice I would give, is take this opportunity, use the skills that you've got in your teams to just stop, take a step back, embrace what's coming up in front of you, don't run away from it, and really sort of come out stronger. I think that's it. And you've titled this perfectly. It's adapt and survive, I think, is the advice that I would give to everyone, and how we're trying to live. So yeah, good luck. We live in hope.
Thank you. We like the title. We think it's good. Thank you so much, Simon, for talking with us today. It's some really interesting points that you've made there, and I think the industry will be really interested to hear them. So yeah, thank you, and I wish you good luck, and we'll hopefully next time we talk it'll be better circumstances.
Absolutely. We'll meet up for gin and tonic in Cannes, I hope.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much for this series. It's really good to see everyone's perspective. So thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Cheers. Bye-bye.